Okay, so now that you know a bit about resources, let's start creating an architecture. Let's start by creating the most basic and the most simplest architecture. So what we'll do is we'll create a resource group, which we already have in the previous section. So after we've created a resource group, what we'll do is we'll create a virtual network. And within that virtual network, we'll create a subnet. We'll also create an NSG, that is a network security group, and we will link a particular subnet to that NSG. So let's go ahead. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create a virtual network. Now we've already created a resource groups because we had already done it in our previous lecture. So I've just left it as it is. So you have a resource, and this particular resource type of this particular name will create a resource group, and the name of the resource group would be dev resource group, and the location would be in West Europe. Okay, so now that we've created a resource group, the next thing we need to do is we need to create a virtual network. So to create a virtual network, you need to create a resource block of type Azure Virtual Network, and the name of this particular type will be VNet. So if you're new to Terraform, you will always ask yourself, how do you find this correct type for creating a resource? So the easiest way to do it is basically to Google it. So for example, if you want to create a virtual network, you can always go to your Google. You can type something like create a virtual network in Azure using Terraform. So if you search for something like this, so the first response that it always gives would be the resource block that you need. So this is the resource block that you can use to create a virtual network. So let's go down and look at all the attributes that this particular resource block needs. So it needs the name, the resource group name. So the resource group name was something that we had previously created, the address space and the location. So let's go back to our code. So our code looks something like this. Again, we have the name, the address space, and the location and the resource group name. So the location and the resource group name I can just fetch by this particular method where I just append the resource type. So that is the resource Azure RM resource group, and then the name of that particular resource type that I have given as resource group, and then the attribute. So the location is the attribute. So using this, I can basically fetch this value. Similarly, the location also can be fetched. So you have the option of either hard coding this value or using this method to fetch that particular value. So this is a much preferable way to do it. Okay, so you've created the virtual network. So the next thing you need to do is you need to create a subnet. So here I'm creating two subnets. I'll use the same method. I can just Google it as well. So I'll just go to my browser and I'll just write create a subnet in Azure using Terraform. And here again, the first output I get is the resource block that I need. So I can just open this and it just says manages a subnet. So let's go down and look at all the attributes that it needs. So again, it needs the name, which is a required field, the resource group name, the virtual network name, and the address prefix. So let's go back to our code again. So this is our code. So here I'm giving the name, the resource group name like I fetched previously. And here I'm also fetching the virtual network name. So that is this particular virtual network that I just created. Again, it's the same way. So it's the resource type, the name of that particular resource type, and the name of the attribute that I want. So using that, I can just fetch this particular value. And similarly, the address prefix also have, so even though this is optional, I've just added this as well. So the value I've added here is 10.0.1.0/24. So it will give around 255 IP addresses. And similarly, I've also created the other subnet. The only difference here is that the name is different as well as the address prefix. So after I've created these two, I've created an NSG. And the idea is that I will link this NSG to this particular subnet. So to create an NSG, again, you can Google it as well. So let's Google. So again, the first response you got is the resource block that you need. So you can just open this, go down and look at the attributes. Again, the name, the resource group name, and the location, and the security rule as well. Even though this is optional, but this is something that we will include. So the security rule has these parameters. So again, it needs the name, the protocol, the source of port range, the source port ranges, or the destination port, or whether you want a multiple set of, or if you want a list of ranges, then you can define it here. So let's go back to our code and let's see how we've defined it. So again, the name, so this is the name, so this is the location, so it's basically the same location as the resource group, and this is the name of the resource group, and this is the security rule that I've given. So what I'm doing is I'll allowing all TCP connections. So I've given a higher priority than the default, and it's an inbound, and it will allow all TCP for all ports. So I've left everything as open. So after I've created the NSG, what I need to do is I need to link this particular NSG to this particular subnet. So there is another resource block that does that. So that particular resource block is known as the Azure Subnet Network Security Group Association resource block. So I have created a resource block of this type, and I've given it a name called example. And all that I've done is I have to give the subnet ID and the NSG group ID. So that basically corresponds to the ID, the resource ID that will be generated once that particular resource is created. So this ID gets generated once the particular resource has been created. So the output of subnet 1 should give you the ID. And similarly, the output of the NSG should also give you the NSG ID. Now you can always go back to your documentation. For example, here I'm in my subnet documentation, and if you go under the attribute reference, you will get all the attributes for that particular subnet. So for example, if you create a subnet with these arguments, these are the attributes that you can expect as the output. So it can give you the ID, the address prefixes, and similarly there are other attributes you can get as well. So this is a very important thing to know. You should always look at the documentation and see what are the attribute references for that particular resource block that you're creating. So okay, so once you have everything, you can always cross-reference with your diagram. So it's always imperative that you create a diagram before actually you start creating resource blocks. So you are able to at least visualize how your particular resource will look like, or how everything will look like, your architecture would look like. So once you've done everything, you can just do a go to your terminal and just do a Terraform apply. So let's expand this page. So here it will tell you all the resources that will be created. An important thing to notice is the ID is basically something that will be known only after the apply is done. So similarly, you will see that there are 6 resources that will be created. So let's just count the resource blocks that we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a total of 6 resources will be created. So let's just approve this by saying yes. And let's wait for the resources to get created. Okay, so you can see that 6 resources have been created. So let's go back to our Azure console and let's see whether they have been created. So I go back to my resource groups. So you can see that the resource group has been created. And within the resource group, I can see that there's a virtual network. So this was the virtual network that we created. And this should have 2 subnets. So if you open the subnet tab, you can see that there are 2 subnets. And both these subnets have the same ranges that we had defined. And this particular subnet is linked to an NSG. So let's look at the NSG. So we go back again to the security group. And this was the NSG that we had created. So you can see that this NSG has one particular rule, that is, it allows all TCP connections to flow in. So this is how you create infrastructure. So I hope this was useful for you, and I'll see you in the next lecture.